Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do board introductions for those who are not familiar with the board members that are here. I'll start with myself. I'm Allie Linfoot. I am the board president. I am a person with lived experience of mental health, and I have worked in the uh, peers support um, field for almost 30 years. And my pronouns are she, her. Um, Judy, do you want to go next?
I'm Judy Steele, and I've been, let's see, I don't even know how long I've been on the board. I guess forever, and and worked with the auction since oh, for maybe 8 or 10 years. I'm not sure, for quite a long while. And I'm here because of my daughter, and her death made me aware that although I had a lot of training and other things, that I had no concept of mental illness. And it's opened my eyes, and hopefully I've been able to open the eyes of others.
Great. Thank you, Judy. Mary, do you want to go next?
Hi,
Me?
Mary?
No,
Sorry,
oh, I'm
Mary Clark.
sorry. This Mary?
Uh,
Mary Clark. Yeah,
you
there we
don't
go.
want me.
Oh, Mary, I love it when there's other people named Mary. It's not I'm Mary Clark, and I have been on the board for 7 years. I'm the secretary, and I help with the coordination of the program in the jail, among other things. So it's nice to meet all of you.
Thanks, Mary. Deanne.
Hi, Deanne Barnett. I've been on the board for 2 years, involved in NAMI for at least 10. So, Judy, I know you were here longer than that because you were here and drug me in. Um, Again, it was lived experience. I have to say, um, reaching out to people is one of my biggest concerns. Um, Judy posted a notice in our mutual doctor's office to come to a family to family class. And I grabbed that little phone number and called, and it literally saved my life. So that's why I'm here, trying to pay it forward, I guess.
Thank you, Deanne. Linda.
I'm Linda Castaneda, and I'm probably the newest member. I'm not sure. I've been here on the board about a year. And I guess mostly professionally, I've always worked with people that have had a combination of criminal and mental health backgrounds. So it really interested me that way. Thank you.
I have to say, Linda and I ran into each other at a line dancing class just a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Grace, you want to go next?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Grace. I am a deputy district attorney at Clackamas County, and I think I might have Linda beat as the newest
Oh,
member because I started, I think, in June or July of
you
this year.
do.
I took over for Chelsea Jones, both on this board and in my role at Clackamas County DA's office. So I am the DA that does our aid and assist docket and mental health court docket for the state. And so that's kind of my avenue into this. And I've been enjoying my time on the board and trying to fill huge shoes with Chelsea's position. So
Thanks, Grace. Sierra.
Hi everyone, I'm Sierra. I'm a judge in Clackamas County, but before then, I was the defense attorney that handled all of the mental health and aid and assist in Clackamas County in Beaverton, working alongside Chelsea Jones and Grace Hoffa. I don't know how long I've been on this board at this point, but it's been a couple of years at least. Nice to see everyone.
Thanks. Joanne.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joanne. I think I'm like in between like the newest board member and then the least new board member. So somewhere in between like 6 months and a year. No, probably closer to a year that I joined. I'm a licensed professional counselor, board certified art therapist, the clinical director at Happy Valley Counseling. where I provide a lot of clinical supervision to associate clinicians, do a lot of mental health and art therapy stuff, which relates to my interest in wanting to serve on this board and also having lived experience. Tabby Perkins, who, well, that's her maiden name, and that is how long I've known Tabby. She was my childhood best friend, and she was originally on this board and let me know about a vacancy and encouraged me to apply. So I've also been enjoying my time in a lot of the really wonderful events, and yeah, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, Joanne. And then we have our outgoing treasurer, Nathan.
Good morning, Nathan Trimpler. I've been with NAMI so long I can't remember, but not as long as some of our more knowledgeable members. And as noted, I'm the outgoing treasurer, and have just been happy to help serve the board to the best of my abilities.
Thanks, Nathan. And we have Joe, who did have to leave early. And then Tabby was mentioned, and she is not here today, but they are valuable members of our board. Also, have I forgotten anybody, Dave?
The folks who are here, and you have not.
Lee Eby actually is one of our great board members too, who is not here. All right, with that, then Dave, you're up. Do you want to introduce staff and give some updates?
Yeah, so let me do a bit of a screen share here, if I can. So this is, there we go. So this is our agenda. Obviously, we've just completed the first item, but this will just kind of give you a sense of the roadmap of where we're going over the next half hour or so. Lots, you'll get to hear from each member of the staff team about the fabulous work they're doing. And then there'll be an opportunity for you to elect new officers, and time for questions or feedback you may have. This is the list of folks who just introduced themselves, and you can see their titles, those that are officers. We just have, I've been involved in several organizations. I've served as an ED of 3 other organizations, and been a board member of other organizations, and we just are really blessed with an amazing board, smart, engaged, really thoughtful, and really supportive. And I've just never experienced a board like this, either as a board member or as an ED. So we are just really fortunate to have the board we've got.
Did miss Lisa too, as far as who is not able to be today, and Brian Nava, who's our incoming treasurer. So
correct. Well said.
Go ahead, Dave. I won't interrupt anymore.
Nope, no problem. One of the things the board does is set organizational goals, and you're going to hear about some of these goals, but I thought I might just put them on the screen. I'm not going to pause so you can read them, but just to give you a flavor of the breadth and depth, this is slide 1 of 3. This is slide 2 of 3, and this is slide 3 of 3. So just really, as NAMI Clackamas has grown exponentially over the last few years, the board has set a bunch of directives, and what you're going to hear from staff are how we have been working to meet those challenges and opportunities. So this is our overall staff team. They're going to go through one by one and talk about the amazing work they're doing. We're also really blessed with an incredible staff team who have been here, just a couple of months up to, I think, 8 years. And so a really broad range of experience internally, experience externally, life experience with mental health as peers and family members. And we are just really fortunate to have them on our team serving our clients and community. And so with that, I will begin with Sherry. Lead on.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to talk about what we've done with our education classes and support groups. So 2025. So we have held 4 family to family classes this year. 2 were in person and 2 were online. And one of the online ones was in Spanish. Um, Peer-to-peer, we've held 3 peer-to-peer classes. 2 were online and 1 was in person. So that's been really great. Um, Support groups. So first I'll talk about our peer groups. We have grown our participation in all 4 of the weekly online groups. The 3 groups in English are now up to uh, they can have as many as 30 participants in any one meeting. It's grown so much. So they range from the high 20s to the 30s consistently every week. And that is definitely growth. And as well as our Spanish Conexión group has grown, and they are averaging between 7 and 8 every week, sometimes more. And that is also some great growth for that group from when it started. We relaunched our women's in-person group earlier this year, and that has been going very well. We average between 5 and 7 um, participants. It's twice a month. We average about 5 to 7 participants with each group, which is really good. It's a good cohesive group. They've kind of grown to there's a core group that attends, and that's going really well. We relaunched our online queer support group also earlier this year, and then decided to join up with NAMI Multnomah, who was also running a group, Simultaneous Stars. So we just, and our group was twice a month. So we have joined with NAMI Multnomah to create a weekly support group, weekly queer support group. We also started a weekly online game group, and that is for people who are feeling isolated or lonely, don't get out of the house. So we have a weekly group, and they play games, all different bingo and categories, and they've started playing Pictionary, and have a lot of fun. They have a lot of fun in that group. We have launched a new in-person Art with Heart group that will start in January, and we have already had a very, very large response to the announcement of the group and interest form that people have filled out. Okay, family support groups. I think the most exciting thing, the biggest thing is we merged. So we had a twice monthly Monday family support group and a once monthly Tuesday family support group, and thought that we needed to increase that because in the past, when we had done that with the peer groups, increased it to weekly, we found that people really wanted that weekly interaction and not have to wait once a month or even a couple of weeks. So we merged our Monday family support group with our once a month Tuesday, and we now have a weekly Tuesday family support group. And it has already grown to weekly, each week having more participants than either group had separately when they were doing it once or twice a month. So that's really exciting. We've got great growth there, and we see it continuing to grow each week. And our Saturday group, we still have our Saturday family support group, which is once a month. And that actually is starting to grow as well. And we will also be starting a family support group in Spanish soon. And we also have 2 family book clubs going. We just are finishing our 3rd in-person family book club, and we have started a new online book club in Spanish. So that's everything. Lots happening, lots of growth, lots of new things.
Great. And we'll hear more from Sherry about volunteers a little bit later. So now we're going to hear from our team of 3 peer support specialists about all the amazing work that they are doing with clients. Frankie, please begin.
Hey everybody, I'm Frankie. I use they them pronouns. I'm a peer support specialist here, and I'm also an event coordinator. So you'll hear from me in like 10 minutes after this. Um, so we had a great year in peer support. We saw a total of 162 unique individuals for one-on-one peer support. And then of that, we also have individuals who call in, who walk in, who maybe necessarily don't want to sit down and have a full peer support session, but they're looking for some sort of resource. And of that, we had quite a bit. We had over 550 referrals, one-time referrals. And a lot of those were due to Jen always giving amazing referrals over the phone. I would hear it from my office. So Jen, you did amazing referral work. And so the year has been great. And we have seen a lot of people and heard a lot of stories. And so what we're going to do now is each of us are going to share a story we've had with a family member or a peer. Um, so for over a year, I have been meeting with a mother whose son struggles with multiple severe mental health conditions. And our support focused in many areas. We focused on housing, employment, food security, addiction services, legal matters. We focused on a lot. We talked through some of her biggest worries about her son's future. She talked through her grief, her guilt, kind of everything that comes along with having a loved one who's suffering with a mental health condition.
I'm probably about half an hour.
Mute your
Judy,
you're not muted
she got
already.
it.
Thank
She
you.
got it. She's a busy lady, okay? Let her take a phone call. Um, and we also focused on tangible. So we created a crisis and a safety plan, and this plan makes sure that her son is handled with care when things escalate, but also her whole family has a plan to be protected. And so by opening up her mind and challenging some previous stigmas around mental health, she actually was able to access mental health care of her own. So that is my client story. I'm going to hand it off to Sage.
Hi, I'm Sage. I'm a peer support specialist. My pronouns are she, her. Um, and I wanted to share a story with a peer we had coming in looking for more periodic, like short-term support. And she had heard about peer support and was interested in learning more about our support groups, our classes, and also housing resources, which is something we see frequently here. Um, and so, like with most of our one-to-one clients, she was struggling with her own mental health conditions and challenges. She was also living with a family member, also struggling with challenges. Um, and so she shared some of her story, and then we discussed what peer support can look like. So we were able to confirm like what resources she's currently utilizing, and then what we could help her seek out. So that looked like SNAP or Bus Pass, or other mental health services. And so I was able to inform her about coordinated housing access, also known as CHA, or what used to be Section 8. And I also passed on all the information for our current peer connection groups and then how to register for our peer-to-peer class. She wanted to meet on an as needed basis and decided that she would call to schedule any future appointments. And she scheduled with us for a couple of appointments, which mostly looked like accessing resources and me checking in with her periodically to see if she needed any more support or had any new needs come up. So, yeah.
Thanks, Sage. And now we're going to bring it to Lisa. You're muted,
Hi,
Lisa.
Lisa Nelson, new peer support specialist here. And I wanted to share that we had a family member come in, a mother who has a son with schizophrenia and is currently not seeking treatment. She lives with her son and is worried for his safety and his mental health. She was looking for more resources and any medical advice to help her son. And we referred her to mental health and behavioral health agencies such as Cascadia Health and Clackamas Urgent Mental Health Walk-In. And these were agencies that more directly served her and her son's needs. We shared crisis and emergency resources, like how one can access the new Clackamas Stabilization Center, and also encouraged her to connect with our family support groups and the family to family class to deepen their knowledge and skills. Thank you.
You're not Dave, Gary.
No, actually, I'm not, haven't I?
Yeah,
I got
what
to change
happened to
that.
Dave?
I think
I
he
was
left.
I think I overtook him or something.
Oh,
No, not really. I didn't. I just signed in, and it happened to be his.
Yeah, so now we're going to talk about our outreach goals with Gary and Jen. Thank you so much, Sage and Frankie and Lisa.
All right, so I'm going to start off. Jen's got all the numbers. I'm going to just look at the big picture. So we had several presentations that we did during the course of this year. The most frequent one was something we call Mental Health Matters. Used to be Mental Health 101. It was a self-directed, well, we did it. It's our presentation. We put it together over a period of time. It's evolved, including basics around mental health, myths and truths around mental health and suicide, a lot of suicide prevention and intervention tools, and then a bunch of information about NAMI. And so we did a whole lot of those, and several of those were adjusted for elders, for a youth audience, for a business audience, and even faith-based communities. So we modified those to fit each of those needs. We also did In Our Own Voice several times. For those of you who don't know, it's the ultimate empathy builder, 4 pairs of people on video, 2 people live who share their journey with a mental health condition from discovery through recovery. We've done that several times. It's a very effective program. We do that with crisis intervention training with the Sheriff's Department, although we didn't do that this year because they had budget issues. QPR, Question, Persuade, and Refer. It's not our program, but that's a crisis intervention, suicide intervention program as well. We did a few of those this year, including some out in the rural areas in libraries. We also did, in fact, last night, I just did a program called Holiday Blues. Which is modified from some information that we got from NAMI, which talks about winter blues, sad, and all the different things that people might encounter, and some tips and tools for dealing with it. And then we did Hearts and Minds, which is a presentation that basically purports the theory that, well, not the theory, the fact that mental health is physical health. And so combining the two into that presentation is a pretty effective way to get that message across. So those are the overall, the big picture of the presentations that we did. I know we did more presentations this year than we've ever done before. I can vouch for that. I'm surprised I got a voice left. But in any case, that's my big picture. So we'll turn it over to Jen, I guess, or Eva. I don't know who's next.
Oh, I can jump in with the numbers for the presentations. So overall, not counting the Ending the Silence presentations that we did at the high schools, there were 61 in English and 20 in Spanish. So overall, there were 81 presentations. And then also we did 4 parades and 10 tabling events. And the parades were in Malala, Sandy, Westland, and Gladstone. The Gladstone one was pretty much right after I started with NAMI, so I was able to attend that one. And it was a really nice introduction to, some of the board members and just getting to see how the group has fun together. The reasons we do some of these events would be increasing awareness of our services, providing some education and connecting people with services, trying to reduce stigma. At some of them, we will distribute pamphlets and information, like at the tabling events. And also sometimes we recruit volunteers and make contacts within the community. And the Gladstone Parade was fun. And also, I really noticed a lot of positive comments that were coming from the crowd and the bystanders as we went by. It sounded like, there were people who knew who we were and who had experience with us somehow with maybe a family member or possibly attending one of our groups or classes. So that was really good to see. Um, People had fun catching the candy, also the kids and the adults. So that was a good time, and just kind of put some faces with the organization out there, and it increases our visibility so people know about us. Also at the tabling events, like conversations can happen, and we all know how Gary is good at striking up conversations for one thing, and with a complete stranger, maybe we'll hear somebody's story about something they've gone through or a family member possibly. And so, sometimes sort of unexpected connections can happen at those sorts of things with possibly people who might not normally reach out to us, but they just happen to see us at some event they're at having a good time. And then they go, oh, hey, there's something I didn't know was out there, and maybe I know someone, or maybe they themselves might want to access some of our services. So that's why we do those things, and why it's important, and why we want to continue looking for opportunities for connecting with people in the community at parades, tabling events, and doing presentations. And then I'll hand it over to Eva, who does all the Latine presentations and outreach. Thank you.
We cannot hear you, Eva. Do you want us to loop back to you in a moment? Okay. The anticipation is just going to build about what I was going to share with us. So in the meantime, we'll jump ahead to some work we're doing around the justice system. Gabe, please kick it off.
Hi, everybody. Thank you all for being here. My name is Gabriel. I have been the jail program coordinator for almost exactly 2 years now. We've had a very busy year. I was actually just going through client rosters from the last year. And I couldn't get to an exact number, but I know we've served over 600 clients in that time. Some very briefly, some of them I've been working with for 4 or 5, 6 months now. We run a variety of services in the jail. We have a mental health education class that we've kind of built a curriculum for over the last 2 years. We also run a Monday night, a Monday night support group and resource group. This is something we implemented this year that has been really effective. It gives people a chance to check in weekly with us, connect with our services, but also I think to build community amongst themselves. That has led to an idea to start an outside group so that people who connect with services in the jail can continue to connect with both us and their peers once they're released. I've not officially launched that, but we are informally meeting at 4D Recovery. I've, over the past couple of months, identified a few clients who have been really, really invested and interested, and they're helping me to start that process at 4D. My hope is that by the new year we will be able to start advertising that as a formal group. Otherwise, I did want to just talk really briefly about one client who I think is a good example of what our what our process and what our impact can be in the jail. This is a client who was homeless for several years before being arrested in June, and was able to go through the NAMI, our mental health class, twice during the last 6 months. Also became an avid participant in the support group every week. He has since been released, and as a result, is back on the street. But I've been able to work with him on the side because he's been so consistent in NAMI. He has housing set up for himself that he'll be moving into soon. And he's one of the participants who is really excited to get the outside group going as well. So I'm really hoping that that can become kind of a momentum builder as we keep getting these people who becomes consistent clients. We can also then use them to keep growing the programming. One of the people who has been helping with the inside support group as of late is Amy Friday, who joined our staff recently. Should I throw it to Amy now? Great. Thank you, everyone.
Can you guys hear me? So I've been working with Gabe and NAMI in general. I'm an intern and I'm finishing up my associate's degree and will graduate in June of 26. From what I've seen going to the jail on Monday nights, there is a really big need to not only support these inmates, but they're looking for the support and they're very anxious to continue that support once they get out. They're really wanting that outside support group so they can continue on that track of, finding a place to live and finding the things that they need and just getting that support. So I'm excited for the new year so that we can launch the group officially. And I think it'll be a really great opportunity to help them on the outside, not just on the inside. And I don't know who's next.
And I'm sorry, Amy, did you talk about the court volunteers and I missed it?
No, I was just talking about the jail group in general. The inside the jail and the outside release group.
So we also have volunteers every week that are inside both the Clackamas County Mental Health Court and the Aid and Assist Court, and they, as opposed to what Gabe and Amy were just talking about in terms of serving peers, the adults in custody, the volunteers in the courtrooms are focused on serving the families and providing them resources and access to mental health programs and services. So that's kind of two sides of the same coin. Thank you both. Eva, you think your volume
Can you
is
hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Go for it.
Oh, awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Eva. I've been with NAMI since May 2023, providing outreach to the Latine community. Some new connections we have is with the Oregon City School District, with Northwest Family Services, AnFarm. Their program Nuevo Futuro from AnFarm is the one that manages Latina communities. Also, the Equity Office Public Health Division of Oregon, Todos Juntos, and we have kept connections with HINT. So through these connections, we have done some presentations this year. We have tried to move or transfer a lot of programs to virtual just to respond to the needs and safety of the community. We've been trying to check the situation and do the best because, of course, the community prefers things in person, but virtual sometimes is more accessible and more safe. So some programs we've done this year from NAMI National have been Compartiendo Esperanza, which is a specific program for different communities. This one is the one in Spanish for Latina communities. We did 2 series this year in different organizations, and we have another one scheduled for January. Each series is 3 sessions each. What I love about this program is that it's more interactive. It's not just a presentation, it's more of like a community conversation that includes a mental health professional to give a Q&A session. So people have loved that. And because of this work, we were recognized by NAMI National for our work with the Coles Grant, and we got the Excellence in Engagement Award, which was, I think, $10,000. So that was really exciting. Another thing, as Sherry said, is that our support group has become more stable, more consistent attendance. I now know all of the people that come back, so that's really nice to have more of like a community there that has been developing. Um, Aside from that, I became trained as a state trainer for Conexión in Spanish, so that will help assist providing training in Spanish here in Oregon, which sometimes is really difficult to find trainings in Spanish. We also did a Familia Familia class this year that was pretty well attended. And then speaking about external programs that are not from NAMI National, we have provided QPR, which is suicide prevention training. We provided one, and we have three more scheduled for January. Aside from that, we have some programs that we have made here in NAMI Clackamas, like Gary said, the Mental Health 101. That one we've done for this year in Spanish. There's another program that I made that is called Culturally Sensitive Mental Health for Latinx populations. That one I make in English, but it's for providers that speak English and give their services to Latinx communities so that they can understand the cultural nuances that are uh, engaged when people serves the community. So to help bridge a little bit the misunderstandings that there can be. Aside from that, we have a book club that has been once a month for the book How to Make Good Things Happen to You. It's a very popular mental health book in the Latina community by the psychiatrist Marian Rojas Estapé. And that one was also very well attended. We've had 9 sessions this year and we finished that book. So now we're going to select another mental health book that the community resonates with. Aside from that, I've had some personal projects like making video production for the video that we showed at Party with a Purpose. I don't know if all of you saw it, but I think it was very effective in helping us secure donations and let the community know of the important work we do here. And we also provided live translation in the parenting mental health conferences that we did this year.
Great. Thank you, Eva. And one last wrap up on outreach, Jen.
So going back to ending the silence, I know that Sherry had talked about it a little because she helps coordinate, or she does coordinate the volunteers for the presentations for ending the silence, which is the presentation we do for high school students. And just wanted to go back and mention the numbers on that because I guess we did not already. So we visited 13 different schools this year and did a total of 41 presentations overall. And the Ending the Silence presentations they're about an hour long with questions and answer time. And the students learn about different mental health conditions and hear a personal story from a young adult who has had personal life experience and shares their journey of recovery. So it includes warning signs and information, facts and statistics, and what to do or who to talk to if you think someone you know might be dealing with mental health challenges and you have concerns. So, you know, high school age, it's a really tough time for a lot of people. Like I would say the majority of people go through at least some kind of stuff in high school and or know someone who is. So it's really great that we're getting out there. I think I'm glad that I'm able to help coordinate those presentations. And yeah, we just keep planning more. We do them every year. So we keep working on that.
Great.
Thanks.
Dave,
Jim.
can I jump in here real quickly? Just want to add a comment to this. I've been around for 8 years with NAMI Clackamas, and I have seen us do more community presentations in the last 2 years, particularly, than we've done ever. And we are becoming the go-to when it comes to credible, relevant information around mental health in the community, specifically and particularly in the Latinx community. We have done more penetration of that Latinx community in the last couple of years, thanks to Eva, than we've ever done. And this is going through at least three other Latinx outreach coordinators who tried fruitlessly to do what Eva's done tremendously. So I just wanted to offer some perspective and some kudos. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, thanks. And if folks do have questions, feel free to jot down your questions, or you can even put them in the chat. We have a couple more things to cover, and one of those is volunteers. Sherry.
All right. So 2025, we had 125 volunteers that gave their time to us. These included teachers, facilitators, presenters, outreach and other community and fundraising events, advocacy speakers, office projects, and of course, our dedicated board of directors that is a volunteer board. And there are others as well, other roles. The list goes on. To break that down a little bit, 70 were continuing and long-term volunteers from last year and some well beyond last year. And 55 were brand new volunteers in 2025. So I think it shows a good mix of, volunteer retention is very strong, but we are continuing to grow the volunteer team with new people as well. Recruiting new volunteers always has its challenges, and so does retaining longer term volunteers. But I would say just to throw it out there, the biggest challenge I'm having right now is new peer-to-peer teachers, new family support group facilitators, and a volunteer or two to help out with the JL classes. So, progress is being made on those fronts, but I just want to say I'm always looking for more volunteers in all of the roles. And so if you're interested or you know anybody that's interested or might be interested, send them my way. Thank you.
Yeah, if you think about the legs of the stool that make NAMI Clackamas work, that whole volunteer leg led by the board, but including lots of other volunteers that Sherry talked about, is critical. The staff leg is critical for reasons that are self-evident after you've heard from folks. But the third leg that we don't function with is fundraising and development. So Frankie and Gary are going to say a bit more about that.
Right. Yeah. So Gary and I get to work on events together. Um, for our 2025 comedy night, I think it was a huge hit. We raised over $13,000 and sold 162 tickets. For 2026, our comedy night is March 13th. It is a Friday at the Milwaukee Community Center. So we have an exciting and diverse group of comedians and some crowd returners. Um, Dave is going to share the flyer here. And we are having a crowd favorite, Adam Posse, be our host and headliner. So we hope to see you all there. That's our comedy night. And then moving into Party with a Purpose, I'm going to be talking about the online and silent auction, as well as um, kind of our overall income, or what we made, what we fundraised. So we successfully hosted our largest online and our largest silent auction yet. So thank you to all of the NAMI staff who helped solicit auction items. Thank you to all of the volunteers. Thank you to the interns. And thank you so much to the amazing committee. So we all worked together, and we had a very impressive auction. We had 86 silent auction items, which generated $8,400. This was a 2,000 increase from 2000, or sorry, 200%, 2000, come on, 200% increase from last year. We had 122 online items, which brought in $12,000. This was a 170% increase from last year. And then overall, we sold 209 tickets to the Party with a Purpose event, and we were able to generate over $82,000, which is a 20% increase from last year. Now I'm going to pass it on off to Gary.
All right. And first of all, I want to say thank you, Frankie. These numbers, this success would never have been able to be achieved without their input and assistance working. And when I say assistance, it was really more of a partnership than an assist. And I can tell you, having handled it pretty much by myself for a number of years prior, what a difference it made. And that really was the thing that took us over the top this year. So our live auction results were probably the one that was down a little bit from the year before. We did have 7 staycations, 11 different items. We had some Waikiki vacations and other things, but the reason it was down from last year, frankly, is because we didn't offer our safari, our South African safari. It was a strategic decision because we had offered it the year before, and that trip alone was responsible for $10,000 in revenue last year. So that was really the big difference. Otherwise, we were pretty much even with what we did in that particular area. Our sponsors were up significantly. We almost doubled our number of our dollars in sponsors. We had $23,400 in sponsorships, where last year we had 14.8. We had 19 sponsors, 14 last year, and 6 of the sponsors were brand new. We had paddle raise. Our paddle raise was again almost double the year before. We had $22,150 in paddle raise donations, and that was 142 donations, which is pretty much one from just about everybody in the crowd. So that worked out really, really well. And as Frankie said, our net or our gross was way up from last year. Our plans for the upcoming year: more staycations. The more we have, the better, because those all dollars that go into our pocket directly, as opposed to some of these exotic vacations where we need to pay a reserve. So if you know of anybody that's got a vacation home, timeshare, Airbnb, whatever, please let me know. We would love to connect with them and see if they're willing to offer a weekend. Or we had one that offered 7 days in a Mexican timeshare, which was really very popular. So we really need those. And we also want to get more deep pockets and seats. That's the thing at the dinner auction, is it's all about getting the right people in place. We're getting there so clearly. You can see that from the numbers going up and up, especially in the paddle raise. That's really the indicator that we've got the right people in seats. So we want more of that. We're going to consolidate the silent auction a little bit more again this year. And we want to really expand the online, because that's a really easy way for us to make some extra dollars with a very little effort by comparison to some of the other issues. So that's really it on our Party with a Purpose. I'm also going to share with you some walk results. The NAMI walk is something that you may know, those of us that have been around. 2019, we were at the Esplanade. Since then, we've been at Peninsula Park. Post-COVID, and it's shrunk from 6,500 in 2019 to a little over 1,000 at Peninsula Park. Our participation at NAMI Clackamas is also dwindled over the years. And part of that is also because we've not just a location, but we've also emphasized fundraisers where we get 100% of it. We don't get 100% of the revenue from the walk that we raise. And while it's well deserved by the state organization and the people that organize it, we feel like we really want to emphasize those things where we get the money. Although I will tell you that the rumor has it that next year, not I'm sorry, 26, 27, we may have the NAMI walk in Clackamas County, which could make a huge difference, especially in terms of our turnout. But we raised, we basically received $4,415 from the state office as far as our net from the walk. That was 65 walkers plus staff. Then we also did theater nights. We started this thing with Clackamas Repertory and with Stumptown Stages. Stumptown Stages was the first, and then Clackamas Rep came through again last year. We hope to do Clackamas Rep again this year. We did do Stumptown stages again this year. Those of you who were able to go to Oliver, it was an awesome performance. But last year we had two. We raised $2,388 through Clackamas Rep, where we went to see Sherlock Holmes and the Precarious Position, and then It's a Wonderful Life last Christmas with the Stumptown stages. We raised $1,255, which was pretty comparable to what we raised the year before, or what we raised this year. So that's theater nights. We plan to do again one with Clackamas Rep again this year in the summer. We have Champion Circle. We started off the year with, I believe it was 45 members. We're up to now 52. We've got 8 new members in our Champion Circle, and that generates $1,150 a month for us at this current time. So if those of you who might recall, we had a grand total of 4 back in 2022. So that's really grown a lot. And again, thank you. All of our board members are part of Champion Circle. That's wonderful. And we love to see that level of support. Then grants, we had $182,828 in grants that we pulled in last year. Now, I will tell you, half of that was a $90,000 Clackamas County grant. So we did get 6 new grants worth about $58,000. That's 44% of the grants that we applied for, we got, which is, I think, a pretty good percentage. There are 4 grants pending right now. Highlight for that was that we've, after trying for, well, all the 8 years that I've been here with Oregon Community Foundation, we not only received a grant, we received 2 grants from Oregon Community Foundation this year. So that really worked out well. So that's the update on grants. Our annual appeal is ongoing. So and we also are looking at a match for our annual appeal of $21,000. So up to $21,000 will be matched dollar for dollar, thanks to Pacific West Bank, Carol and Marty Gardner, who are longtime supporters and very generous donors, and 2 donors who choose to remain anonymous. But all the year-end donations are going to be matched dollar for dollar up to $21,000. So please do, encourage everyone that you know to please take advantage of that annual giving match. Then our Legacy Circle is something that we're launching this year in January. We received in the last, I think it's 14 months, about $130,000 in bequeaths from estates. These are 4 estates that were responsible for that, which prompted us to think, well, gee, maybe we ought to start something like a Legacy Circle. These are unexpected dollars get, so we never know when we're going to get them or if we're going to get them, but it's always nice to know. So if you would like to be a founding member of our Legacy Circle by just simply including NAMI Clackamas in your will in some manner, shape, or form, please do let me know. Gary at NAMICC.org, and I'll be more than happy to hook you up with all the resources you need to get that done. So please think about the Legacy Circle. And last but not least, Give Guide. We're in the Willamette Week Give Guide until December 31st. There are big give days during the course of the month of December that will get you entered into win some big prizes that for every $10 donation. So please do support us that way as well. They don't take any money from us. There's no fees or anything that are involved in each of the donations. So we get 100% of what you donate, whether it's through Give Guide or directly to us. So that's it for development.
So you've heard a lot about education and support and even about advocacy. One other component of advocacy we just wanted to highlight, we've had a lot of legislative roundtables where peers and family members from NAMI Clackamas have met with state legislators and shared their stories, shared their advocacy. One of our areas of principal focus this year was on changing the state's civil commitment laws, which had been attempted for many, many years, but finally happened with passage of legislation late or early this summer. And so finally, civil commitment is going to be more accessible for family members who are looking for that for their loved one. It's definitely not taking away anybody's individual rights. It's just making it a little bit more balanced and more accessible. And there, in that same bill, there were additional dollars allocated toward resources to create more beds for folks who are civilly committed, because a lot of the beds in the state hospital are taken up by aid and assist clients right now. So that's, I think, we've found even people who've never done legislative advocacy before have engaged in that, enjoyed it, and really made a huge impact in terms of impacting the legislative agenda in Salem. So with that, Madam President, I think we are ready for some elections.
Okay. Do you want to go through the list?
Yeah, so this slide, maybe. There we go. So you have four of you. There are four officers that serve NAMI Clackamas in addition to the past president, and those five people make up the executive committee. The past president obviously doesn't need to be elected because she is just the past president. But board president Ali Linfoot, vice president Joe Kaufman, and board secretary Mary Clark are all eligible for re-election to continue serving in those roles. And this annual meeting must not only re-elect them, but also must elect a treasurer because Nathan Trimpler is completing his term on the board after several years of faithful service. And so these are the nominees before you for your consideration to re-elect Ali and you'll notice these are different terms, but to re-elect Ali to a one-year term as president, to re-elect Joe to a one-year term as vice president, to re-elect Mary to a two-year term as secretary, and to elect Brian Nava for the first time to a two-year term as treasurer. Any questions about that proposed slate? And I think it's also open if folks want to make additional nominations.
Don't be shy.
So if there are no additional nominations, if someone wants to move that proposed action at the top. Someone want to make that motion? Just unmute yourself.
Well, I guess as a member, I can make the motion since I'm not a board member, but I am
Actually,
a
that's
NAMI
true.
member.
You can.
So I will make the motion that we elect the officers as presented.
Is there a second?
I think there we go.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? So let me see if this will work. Up on your screen should appear a place where you can either vote yes, vote no, or abstain. So if you just want to click one of those three options. See, several people voted, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Well, I don't know whether mine is working or not. Is it not? I don't know.
Okay, we'll give it about 5 more seconds for people to lock in their votes. Okay.
Working. I don't know. Oh well.
And are the results showing on your screen? Okay, great. So we have unanimity. You don't see many election results like that these days. Clackamas County or America.
Yeah.
So, Madam President, we would be happy to take any questions or comments folks may have.
Yes, please feel free to ask anything that comes to mind or comment on anything that comes to mind.
I think that the people in NAMI have done a wonderful job in the office. And I mean, it's just so impressive, the gains that we've made, because I've been watching it for many, many years, and it's huge difference.
Yeah, I made a comment in the chat too. I really, really appreciate the work that the staff puts in to every event and whether it's big or small, it's so appreciated and really helps to further NAMI's mission.
I'm listening as an audience member, but we are so lucky to have Dave Hunt.
Yes.
I mean, just the knowledge, all his experience down at the state legislature, how he runs the meetings. That we're just so lucky. So anyway, just thought I'd say that. Give Dave the thumbs up.
I agree.
I'd like to mention that as a user of NAMI, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. In the support that is given to me as an individual, but as I hear you talk, the community support, the whole thing, like Dave mentioned at the first, I have never seen a board as cohesive and as participative. Mostly they sit on their hands and do nothing and let the chairman run it. And your sharing of tasks and the programs you put out is such a, a total gift to the entire community, and to the mental health people who need mental health help. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
And if you'd like to see Mary and several other clients in their TV debuts, you can watch the video that I just put in the chat that's on our YouTube page, sharing their experience with NAMI Clackamas.
And
Mary?
by the way, that was the video that Eva referred to when she said that she put that together.
Wonderful.
And before we go, let me introduce the star of many of my Mental Health Matters presentations. This little guy, his name is Carlin. He is my little therapy dog, and I feature him when I open up the presentation for questions. I show his little picture. So there's my little guy.
I love it.
All right. Well, then, if there aren't any more comments or questions, thank you all for being here, for all of you that reported out to give us updates on everything NAMI is doing. Board members, appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I think we can go ahead and adjourn. Yay.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.